Hi everybody, Russ from My Amazon 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you're made of any time we put new content on. As always, we'd like to thank our lovely channel sponsors, Untuck It. Check them out in the description below. Description below. That's better. Today's guest, it's Barry Edmonds. How are we doing, Barry?
Very well, Rush, yourself.
I am still on cloud 4.
It's nice, mate, isn't it? and even better, I was born and raised in North London.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah,
brilliant.
Absolutely.
You can parade around being the top team in London.
Yeah, and it's even bittersweet when you come from there.
Yeah, no, totally.
Growing up there, I did all my life, so.
For one season, we can.
It's enough for us, isn't it?
It is. It's tough, and I think it's. Obviously, I started going when into the early '90s and stuff, and I've known no different. Do you know what I mean? So this is obviously I was probably about 4 or 5 with the boys of 85, 86 season, and I wasn't born at the FA Cup 1980. I know I don't look.
No, you don't, Russ, no.
I know. So yeah,
no.
So I know. I appreciate it, Barry. I'm loving it. In the words of McDonald's, I'm loving it. I don't know what's going on. I sit there and I'm like, I keep checking the table.
I'm sure they got it upside down.
I'm sure there's a mistake. Yeah, I've got like how we always think that the world's against us. Waiting for UEFA or FIFA to say, "Oh, actually, no. West Ham got to be near the bottom." Oh, okay, no worries. But no, it's great, isn't it? It's great, and doing one over the old enemy, so to speak, on Sunday wasn't bad either.
It's sort of maybe because you're going to work Monday.
Yes, it did. It's one of those things. Go on,
sorry, mate.
No, you carry on, buddy.
I was going to say, you get it week in, week out when you lose, but funny, you don't see them when you win.
No.
Strange, isn't it?
It's all gone a bit quiet, isn't it, over there? It's all like, yada. But yeah, it's funny, and it's always Tottenham. One way or the other, innit? It's either they're our bogey team or we're their bogey team. And it's weird, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is.
It is weird. But long may it continue. And as I said, it's wherever we finish, it's a good sign, isn't it? And hopefully it's a bit of prolonged, because we always have a good season and then we have 3 crap seasons. So hopefully we keep a little bit of momentum going to next season. When everyone will be back, hopefully everyone's back by then. We'll have everyone back in the stadium. Oh,
I'll put it down to socks, Russ.
Socks.
We wear the white socks, we're successful. We wear the claret socks, we ain't. Have a think about it.
Have a word, Umbro. Have a word.
But I'm an old kid, so tradition, see?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny things like that. I was listening to someone talking the other day, and they talk about suspicion if they had any pre-match, superstitions, and he went, "Yeah, I did. I always did put my right foot sock on instead of my left foot sock, and I don't know why I started it, but I always did it." And it's like, well, clearly it hasn't. You weren't a world class footballer, so it's not like you won every game, but you still had it in your mind. But yeah, I like the fact that we've got the white socks, so we're doing all right. I like that. No, long may it continue. Yes, how have you been in this weird world we live in at the moment?
Yeah, good, Russ. I haven't been off work, so
good. Yeah.
For where I work, I have to go. So, unfortunately, government buildings don't shut down.
They do not. They do not shut down. No, exactly. Yes.
So, you can't exactly walk out and turn the lights off. So,
no. Last one, Lee's. Please turn the lights off. It'll be Barry. But yeah, no, I know it's a weird thing. Have you been jabbed yet? Have you been jabbed?
No, actually, I'm going this Friday because we health issues.
Yep.
Because was it last year? No, 2 years ago I suffered 8 heart attacks.
Wow.
And in one morning, Russ, I'm a bit of a greedy sod. Yeah, I'm a bit of a greedy sod.
Most people don't have one. You had 8 in a morning.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. You do it big time. But now I'm all right. So I've got my pacemaker defibrillator fitted. So yeah, you crack on, didn't you?
Yeah.
So one life left if I'm a cat. I've got one left. So
you've got one. You've taken 8 of them already, haven't you?
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
So
I had my jab yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
No side effects, nothing.
No side effects. What? Sorry. No side effects whatsoever. But my mother-in-law's had hers. I've had mine because I'm on. I'm tipping the scales a little bit. That's why I'm on the list. And yes, my wife's terribly cautious that she hasn't had it yet, the first one. But I had it. Just a bit of a sore arm and a sore head. I was a brave little soldier, Barry. I was a brave little soldier.
Did you get a little sticker though? So well done.
No, I didn't. I didn't get a sticker.
You'll have a steward on that one, Russ, wouldn't you?
Oh, or a lollipop or anything.
Yeah.
or a sugar cube. Do you remember they just do that sugar cube? Eat it. There you go.
Yeah.
But no, I did. My mother-in-law got a sticker, but she got it from the hospital. I went to the library, so that's probably why. I got out a couple of books while I was there. But, apart from that, yeah.
So would you have got shouted at and gone shh if you'd have screamed out you had it? Shh. There you go.
And they stamped me, and I've got to come back in 3 weeks. Otherwise, I can't be overdue.
Huh.
Yeah, but no, it's good. It's good, isn't it? Yeah,
good for you, mate.
It's good to see that things are starting to move, and hopefully, we might get some fans in for the last game of the season.
Yeah, it'll be a weird one. I went in the ballot before.
Yeah,
obviously I didn't get picked. Obviously in the ballot, but being a season ticket holder, but it'd be weird. It's all yeah.
It is weird.
What is it? 10,000 running around a place that big?
Yeah, it was 2,500 last time, weren't it? And that was weird. That was very strange. But it's amazing from having no one in there. You had no one in there for 20 games or something like that beforehand. So having 2,500. God, they made a racket. I wasn't used to it. I was sitting there in my little box going, what? Oh God, get in hands. It was but no, 10,000 hopefully, which would be great. And it'll be interesting to see how it all works for that, because obviously, but it'll be good because at least after this season we've had, it'd be nice because also we're playing Southampton. So no disrespect to Southampton, but we should be beating them. So they should see a win, and it'll be our Champions League qualification party. So great, It's
very nice, Russ. I could do it.
Tick, tick, tick. I've already got the Champions League music on the playlist for next season. So,
good for you.
Just getting ahead of the game, really, more than I think, Barry, to be perfectly honest. But yeah.
Got to be one step ahead of us.
You've got to do it, innit? You've got to last. I know it could all come to shit for Sunday when we get trounced by Man City 5-0, 6-0. But hey, until then, who cares, man? We're enjoying life as a Hammer.
That's it. Enjoy it while we can.
Exactly, and because we're always even when we're on 42 points before the Tottenham game, people go, "Oh, we went down on 42 points." I'm like, "Shut up!"
And the best thing is to see the quote: "We're safe now. We're safe. One more win, we're safe."
Yeah, we're safe. We're safe. It's ridiculous, wasn't it? We're like 5th in the league. We're safe. That's all we're bothered about. Get those 40 points. Get those 42. Then we're happy. I know. It's just being a West Ham fan, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah.
We're just hardened.
We don't expect nothing. What comes along is a bonus for me, and I've been like that all my life with them.
Yeah.
As long as I go. Sorry, God.
Oh, you carry on, Barry. You carry on.
As long as you go and watch a game of football and you see them try, you see two great teams play. That's what I ask for. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. Win or lose, always in the team, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right, mate.
You're right. It's one of those things where we don't ask for much as a West Ham fan, do we? Just as you said, they have a go. And they try. And we can't help if you're playing against, even like Man City on Sunday, when we play Saturday or Sunday, and it's like a free hit for us, really, because City are just like going away with it at the moment. 18 wins, something in a row. As long as we go and have a go. Don't it's not our fault that we're not we haven't got anyone on our team who's a Kevin De Bruyne or Aguero or anyone like that. But we have a go. We have a go.
That's all about, Raymond. That's all it's all about.
It is, man. It is. And you mentioned, all your life. How did it start? Why are you a Hammer, Barry?
Do you know, I've often been asked this question so many times, and I've only put it down to one thing. So Robert Moore. When I was 3 or 4, we moved house, and the people opposite come out of East Ham, and obviously big West Ham supporters. And I think my affiliation goes to Bobby Moore before it went to football. So I was only 4 or 5 years of age, and then after that it was West Ham. That was it. So all I can remember from maybe 6 or 7, my team was West Ham, and Bobby, and that's it. He was my hero. He always will be my hero. I didn't see a lot of him, but what I did see, it's precious to me, because to me, this is it sounds biased, but it's the best defender this country's ever had or will ever have, without a shadow of a doubt. And so hence why my affair started with West Ham.
Yeah.
50 odd years ago.
It's crazy, isn't it? It happens when, and it's like now you sort of, obviously with these shows, you sort of you talk to people and they sort of think back. And I mean, we had one of the guys from Any Old Irons on yesterday, and he was just sitting there and he's like, "Yeah, my dad took me. It was 1958," and he's like, that's almost 60 years ago. He's like, "Oh my God, that's a long time, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, it is."
I was thinking back the first time I went. I mean, my dad, God rest his soul, he's been gone a long time, but my dad, we grew up in North London. It was either Arsenal or Tottenham. There was no in between. My dad wasn't a great football fan, but when he was a kid, when they could afford it, they would go to Arsenal one week, Tottenham the following week.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I come along in his life and upset the apple cart. But then he started following West Ham. And the only thing I can remember, the first game I ever was taken to, was in 71, 72.
Yeah.
And we played Coventry at home. And it was in August. So the debut was on the 28th or 29th of August. So I know my birthday's the 29th. So I got this present to go to West Ham with my dad. We sat in the main stand right at the back. Can't remember the match. So I've checked it out on Google and I've checked it and it was 4-0. But the only thing I can remember was my dad taking me. And then my dad used to work a lot, unfortunately, but I was saying his story earlier on to my wife. I said, well, how did you go? I said, well, obviously my mum wouldn't let me go by a tube. It was too far from North London over. So my trick was the nice man across the road. And I never called him by his first name. It was always Mr. Russ. I used to go over on a Saturday morning. Mr. Russ, you couldn't get me a programme, please. Right? So he'd say, yeah, all right, mate. But if there's enough room in the car, we'll come over and get you. So from 12 o'clock, I used to sit in my front room window thinking, here they come, they're coming out there. And he would come over and he started taking me. So I actually went with my neighbour across the road and his boys, who were a lot older than me, and that was it. And then it just carried on after that. And then I was old enough to go on my own, and then you start going away, you start going abroad, and my happy days.
And that's it, that's it. 50 years later.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's like it is. People go, I don't remember. I remember my first game. I loved it, and then I blinked, and I was. It's been 50 years, or 40 years, or 30 years. I've been supporting him. It's just funny how time flies, isn't it? So quickly. I mean, obviously, we were recording this on the day that it was Sir Robert Moore should be his 28th anniversary of his passing, and God, that took me right back to that Wolves game.
Yes.
Remember that Wolves game? It's literally like that, and oh God, it's just weird. It's like, and I was like, wow, obviously life's changed a lot in those almost 30 years, but it took me straight back to that game, back to it.
Yeah, I can remember going down there on the morning when all the flowers started being put out, and went down with 2 of my friends. We drove all the way over, obviously where we lived, and it was like unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like it, and. No. I know every club done it after us, and I think we set the thing out. Yeah. And I'm not knocking every other club because everybody has their heroes, and what we have, our hero is not their hero, and I look back and I actually found, I don't know where they are now, but I come across some photos a few years ago of that day what my mate took, and he gives us all copies. It was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, you had grown men crying. You know, it was little kiddies who would never even know who he was, but because their dad was there, they were there. You know what I mean? And you look at the generations, and everybody now associates Bobby Moore. But how many actually see him play? I didn't see him a great deal, but I was privileged enough to see him.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You know, that is my number one God without anybody else. You know, and always will be to the probably. Well, how long I've got left on this earth, who knows? But
well, you've got one left, don't you? Now you've got one life left.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Just letting you know. Just get the count.
Yeah, just get it in there, wouldn't you?
That's amazing. But you're totally right, and that's probably part of the reason why I started doing the channel, really, because when we started, I started doing it in lockdown 1, and it was that exact reason. You know, I think I looked at someone like I think the club like 20 years ago, something like that, did a Dream 11, and I hadn't seen any of them play apart from maybe Canio, I think, and maybe Cotty. And I thought, do you know what? And also, you know, talking to a lot more experienced fans, I call them. The old gits, but I call it the experienced fans. You know, you know, there's less and less people, unfortunately, who saw Bonds play, who saw Ernie Gregory play, and people like that. And so it's just talking to them about their memories. And obviously, we've been fortunate enough to have people like we've had Stag on, we've had Pikey on. You know, guys who played with him as well, played with Moro. Obviously, Matt Lorenzo we had him on. He obviously did the Bobby thing, and he spoke about meeting him with his dad and stuff, you know. So it's like I think it's really important that you sort of categorize these memories, because you know it's another 28 years time there'll be less and less of them. So it's like it's horrible to think, but it's true. So he was a great man. Some great stories about him as a person. People have met him in St Valentine's Park in Ilford, and you know, he helped them tie their shoes up or ruffled their hair, and amazing. Just a different time, totally different time.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, you listen to Brian Deere. I watched the one with Brian Deere.
Yeah,
and it's brilliant. You know what I mean? We hear what the stories is. Going to work, they used to go on a bus, and you know, live in a corner and walk to the ground. I mean, you imagine them there; they wouldn't even walk to, would they? They'd get injured.
Yeah, they would. I mean, that was amazing. Yeah, Stag's one, and he was like, when he said like, because obviously I know I live in that area, and he's like, yeah, around there, and we ran there and round there, and like miles and miles and miles. Got back to Chadwell Heath, and there was a roast dinner waiting for us. I thought that's brilliant. That's my type. That's my type of fitness. You know, all that running and good old meat and 2 veg waiting for me, and a Yorkshire pudding. Oh, yes. None of your cardiovascular, you know, all that clever stuff. Nah. Beef and potatoes. No, I love it. No, yeah, he was amazing, Brian. I loved him. Lovely bloke, lovely guy. So let's talk about your Hammers 11. So the idea is obviously the whole idea of the show is everyone we get on, bar a couple of people, Harry Redknapp, Ian Bishop, and Nigel Reo-Coker. They've given an 11. So the idea is, and as we were saying, as we alluded to when we were talking about Bobby Moore, the idea is you can pick whoever you want based on whatever criteria, but you have to be alive to have seen him play. So obviously I couldn't put Bobby Moore in. He would be in my dream team, of course, but I never saw him play. Or Billy or Brookin. I saw him manage, but didn't see him play. So I had, my scope wasn't Bobby Moore, it was Gary Breen. Yeah, it wasn't Gary. I didn't pick Gary Breen, but that's shock if I did. But yeah,
the barrel there a bit, right?
Yeah, can I imagine Gary Breen just like, what, I'm in. But yeah, so that's what we do, and it's a bit of fun, and it's it's really interesting because obviously we talk about all the players separately and stuff. So for the Barry 11, who would be between the sticks? It's.
I had 3 keepers, Russ. I could have done 3 teams, obviously.
Easy. Yeah, you could easy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ludo.
Yeah.
A lot of man mounting, wasn't he? He was, when he first come, kick the ball, he could go from one end of the pitch to the other. Bosh, in the back of the net. I mean, Parksy was a superb keeper, and I actually think Mr. Green was very underrated as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
One mistake for England, that was the end of him. And that's criminal. Because an outfield player can do it, and I actually think he was a very good keeper, Green, very underrated.
Yeah.
But sorry, he's got to be my number 1. Mr. McCloskey. He's got to be there, I think. But
I watched. It was funny because I think I was interviewing Slates, and I saw the goal with him and Dolan, where it was like Ludo basically. The ball ain't touched the ground. Ludo hoofs it.
yeah.
I think Dolan rather. Eamon sort of chests it down, and then Slates just volleys it into the corner, and it was like, honestly, like Ludo. I always remember just him being in goal because he was my first goalkeeper I saw at West Ham, and he just seemed to be in goal forever, like 8 years, nice, ridiculous, and he was always in goal. You know, it was just such a strange thing. And we've had people like we had Ian Foyer on, and obviously he was reserve team keeper for Ludo, and he was like, he was just like, fucking Ludo, he was just too good, and he could never get him out of the team. Exactly.
That's the thing.
You do, man.
Yeah.
No, I loved him. He was great man, and a lovely bloke as well. A lovely guy as well, by the sounds of it. So, had a lot of time for the fans. Right, okay, let's put Ludo in goal. Let's go into the defence. Who's your first defender then, Barry?
Frank Lampard Senior.
Nice.
I don't think he got the I don't think he got the recognition because of who was in the same year as the 3 World Cup winners. But I could have gone with. I actually think McCartney was underrated for the few seasons he was there. You know, for 2 spells. And we've had some good fullbacks, and Timmy Breaker, unbelievable. Going even further back, I don't see what side he was on. John McDowell, very versatile player. But I think Lampard. Yeah, I'm going to go. Frank Lampard Senior.
No, I agree. I don't think he has the recognition. We did an appreciation night from a couple of weeks ago, and there was so much like love for the man. Because I agree. I think he gets like left out in the wash. So you look at all the others. You know, you got your obviously Sir Robert, you've got Sir Trevor, you've got Billy Bonds, you've got Alvin Martin, people, and then Lampard is sort of the 5th or 6th person maybe you might mention, and it's like, well, he's won 2 FA Cups. He ain't there's not many people at West Ham who's done that, and actually two of them have got bloody stands named after him. So
exactly.
I was talking to the guy from Any Old Irons, and he said he should have a Lampard corner, and I agree. It should be a corner because we're running out of space. We're running out of space now. Stands. I think a corner. That'd be perfect. A Lampard corner. No, I love it. But he's an incredible. So many games in the club.
I just think it was a stigma because of Frank.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I do a lot of people hold grudges because of who his son was or what he done or whatever. Look, it's history. It's no different than what Ince done.
Yeah.
Can you forgive him? No, I don't forgive him personally because that was my era.
Yeah.
But come on, let's be grown up about it and move it on. And I do think with Mr. Lampard, I just think because of his boy, people don't pick him because he's over Chelsea, watching him every week, but that's his son, isn't it? We're going to help. Yeah. So you're not going to come over to West Ham when your boy's playing over Chelsea. Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
But I think very good. I actually think a very good fullback. I will go with Lampard. Yeah.
And he scored some really good goals.
Yes.
Because I didn't really know much about. That's why I love doing the shows with Martin, because Martin's like he's got all the videos, and he puts together. And it was some belters. He had like a proper bullet on him.
Yes.
Great man.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put Lamps in. We'll put Lamps Senior in. Who's next in that defence, then, my man?
I'll go the other side. The Terminator, Mr. Dix.
Terminator, Julian Dix.
Without a shadow.
Yeah.
I just think he was everything we wanted in a player. Yes, he was a nut job, but what a lovely nut job, wasn't he?
It was a nut job, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want him on your side rather than against you.
Yeah.
And I don't actually think another one, I don't think he got the recognition what he deserved.
No.
Because I actually think he was one of the best fullbacks in the country at the time. And you can say it's biased or whatever. I don't think it is because his reputation went before him, I'm afraid. If he got sent off this week, there was no way he's going to get in the England B team, A team, C team. It ain't going to happen. Yeah. But Dix, all day long. Yeah. All day long.
Totally right. You're totally right. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to interview him a few weeks ago, and when we was talking to him, we asked him that, and it was, he was there. It did happen, and John Gorman said to him, you showed your head, so you're not going to get an England squad.
And it ridiculous, isn't it?
And he's very, you can imagine Julian's response to that. He'll just shave it even more if that's possible. But no, he's a great man. Great man.
I met him a few years ago. I was lucky enough to meet him, and the persona, what you think of him, and when you meet him, is completely different. Totally. You think that's him, really?
Yeah.
Funny man and all some good stories he come out with. Yeah. But I mean, I can tell you a little quick one about him. We had his pub once, and a couple of my mates went back to his pub after a game, and anyway. He said, "Oh, you'll be." So we went back to this pub, having a drink. So there's about 6 from West Ham and a bloke from Chelsea who was with him, sitting at the same table. But his mate walked in, Mr. Ruddock.
Oh, I love him.
So the landlord has said there'd be someone in to see you in a minute, and he said he come over and say hello to you. So lo and behold, who walks in? They all look up. There's Ruddock. He went, Guinness. You've never seen a man drink a pint of Guinness like it in your life.
I can imagine.
Anyway, he's come over. I think there was 6 of them sitting at the table. All right, lads. Dave, West Ham. Yeah, West Ham's boys. Yeah, get them all a drink. He went, all of you. He went, no, he's Chelsea. He went, oh, he can off. He went, he ain't. And he wouldn't buy his friends a drink. He just left him out and round. But that's characters for you, isn't it? And Mr. Dix was a character. I mean, without a shadow. You'd want him in the trenches next year. There you go.
I was exactly the same. I was crapping myself when I was interviewing him before. He was like, because he was just like, because his reputation goes before him, and he doesn't do loads of interviews, and so he'd also just been sacked by West Brom. So I'm like, I asked him any questions like, what's it like to be sacked? And he went, well, I'm in Birmingham now. I'm clearing in Birmingham now, clearing my flat. And I was like, yep, okay.
I'd still like to ask Perry Groves.
Yes.
Was you at the game when he got Perry Groves? And
I wasn't. No.
Mr. Groves ended up asked to be substitute or could he go to the other side of the pitch because he was just beasting the man. And I'd love to know what went through with Barry Groves' head. Could you imagine getting a ball and you think, oh no, I've got him coming towards me. Please, don't pass to me no more.
I know.
I always thought it was fair.
Yeah, I mean, we had when we had Mad Dog on, and we asked him about his favourite game, and he said it was the Wimbledon game. And I spoke to Julian about it. It was like a 22-man pile-up, and then it all settled down. And then the ref gives the ball. I think it's Dennis Wise. It was a drop, but and then literally Julian's gone. Dennis Wise has gone up about 12 foot, and Julian just walked straight off with his hand up, like, yeah, that's me done. I'm off. It's characters. They were characters, weren't they? Julian could galvanise a team from left back.
Yes.
And I love that.
And there ain't many who could do that. From that position.
No, exactly. No disrespect to Aaron Cresswell or McCarthy or anyone like that. They wouldn't be able to conduct a crowd like Julian Dixon and a team.
Yes.
And a team from that position. He may be a left back, cool, and he was a cool, and the way he used to rip his collar, and all the kids used to do it and get clipped around the ear roll because they've just spent in the shirt and stuff like that. Brilliant. I love him. Right, all right. Let's put Dixie in. Centre half. Who's your first centre half then, my friend?
I've gone with the idea of Alvin. I've gone Tony Gale. I've took him out, put him back. I'm going to go with Billy Bonds.
Nice.
And alongside Sir Bobby. That's my middle pair.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, let's talk about Bill first. Let's talk about
Bill. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't describe it. 41 years of age, he's still playing football, you know what I mean? And I can't even run a bath at 41, and he's running marathons, you know what I mean? Running around in Forest. You can't buy that, Russ. You couldn't buy a player in this statue today. I don't think you couldn't.
No.
I don't think the game's moved on. It's a technical game now, if you like, but the man plays centre half, fullback, midfield. He was just a colossal of a specimen, wasn't he? I mean, you hear stories of when he goes on his runs and he run back and gee him up to get him back to the front, and you've got to be some athlete in your own head to do that.
Yeah.
But another one, never an England cap, and disgraceful.
Yeah,
Disgraceful.
Yeah, very true.
And I understand the era.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
No, you carry on, man. You carry on.
And I understand the era of when he was playing and what players were about, but surely somewhere he could have played somewhere. You know, I don't know. I just think, is there a stigma because you're West Ham, because you're an R player, you ain't going to get picked? I don't know. Was it like that years ago? Who knows? I mean,
you look at how many caps Emlyn Hughes got around that time, and you're thinking, Bonzo, he could have had you're right. I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's a cyclical thing. It's the same discussion we're having now about Mark Noble. Surely, like that 15-16, that last season at the Bowling when he was playing out of his skin.
Yes,
there would have been an England spot for him. I mean, they could dish him out like in cereal packets now. It seems.
Carlton Cole got one, and he didn't get not the other bloke, not Carlton, the other bloke, Carlton Palmer.
Carlton, I was about to say, don't slag off Carlton Cole. He's not Carlton on the show, but Carlton Palmer. Yeah, you're right. I know what you mean. And there's so many of them. You're thinking, really? It's like it's. And obviously, it was his decision. Famously, he made the decision to not play for Ireland. Obviously, the reverse of what Declan Rice did, really.
Yes,
And so, but I mean, Bonzo, and I mean, to be honest, even when we did the old the stand, he still looked like he could have a game. Still like he looked fit as a villain.
He put his boots on. He'd have been out there, wouldn't he? And shown all of them up. And that's credit to the man himself. It was very emotional. I thought it was a very emotional day for him, and I thought it was a lovely day. It's about time he got on by that.
It was,
his time had come, and it should have happened probably a few years ago. Who knows? But it's done now, and good for him.
Exactly, and it's fortunate that it's done when he's still alive.
Yes,
Unlike the next person we'll talk about.
Yes,
Mr. Moore, Mr. Gold, Sir Bobby.
Sir Bobby.
Yeah.
Honestly, I said to you, Russell, honestly, you could say I'm biased, but I was lucky enough to see him I don't know how many times I didn't see him play. I can't remember, obviously, but I was lucky enough to see him probably towards the tail end of his career at West Ham. And if I see him once, then once was enough for me, because growing up and watching him on telly, I can remember internationals on a Wednesday. There he would be leading out England. It was just, I can't. To me, he was everything. He was reading a tackle 2 challenges before.
Yeah.
So the ball came forward. He knew where that ball was going to be played. Wasn't pressed with all the speed, but the brain was. If you watch the Brazil game with Pelé, and he tried to turn him inside out, and he just stood there, and every time he came forward, the leg went out or something. And you watch him, and you can see the admiration at the end from Pelé to him, thinking, unbelievable. Yeah. And I'd say I can't speak highly of him enough, and God rest his soul. At least even going back, you think I've listened to the football on Capital Gold. Well, it was Capital Gold then, and Bobby Moore was the analyst on there with Jonathan Pearce.
Yeah,
and you're thinking, is there no place in football for this man? All right, he went to Southend, didn't put up no trees, but I just think he was shafted on by the FA. Something went. We'll probably never find out what it was, if there was something, but I actually think he was shafted by the FA. I don't know, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, we had. I can't remember. It might have been Matt, actually. Matt Lorenzo might have been me talking to him about it, and he was like Bobby Moore made him a cup of tea, or something like that. And it's just like little things like that. But you're right. I think it was a travesty. It was one of those things where I think you'll never find out now. Do you know what I mean? It's been, it's one of those when like everything's on Netflix now. About things in murders and you think someone would have done something. If there was a story to be told that was well known, it would have come out by now. And it was a sad thing. It was a sad thing because you think there must have been some place for him. I actually watched that documentary again recently. Very, very sad documentary. Towards the end of his life, and but. At least, as you said, it's one of those things where unfortunately, it was recognised too late, with the stand and stuff like that. But every West Ham fan, regardless of how old they are, knows about Bobby Moore.
Yes,
and his legacy will always stay on because of that.
Oh.
And so it's a great thing. It's a great thing. We still recognise it as well. So yes, all right. So that's a strong back four. Jesus fucking hell! I want to be a striker. Jesus, I'll get a limp that day. I'll get a bit of a cough. Right. Let's go into midfield. Okay. Let's. Who's your first midfielder going to be then, Barry?
Trevor Brooking. Another great. I mean.
Yeah.
Another great footballer. He's, you look at these players sometimes, even like a couple of years ago, I look at players and think, I think you're too good for us.
Yeah.
Because we're not well beaters. We're never going to be well beat. Well, not this season. But you take the last season away from the bowling, you take the 85 away, your boys from 85, where we were thereabouts. But what a man, one club man. No different to Mr. Steve Potts, one club man. You're never going to get that again. Mr. Noble's another one. Divided opinion on Noble. I've got my opinion. My opinion is my opinion. But you can't knock a man who stayed at any club for the amount of years that they did. All three players. And to Trevor Brooking, it was, well, what did Cluffy say? He stung like a bee. No, not stung like a butterfly, didn't he? Stung like a butterfly. But it's strange you wanted to buy him when you go look back in your history books.
Yeah.
But, a magic footballer. Him and Keegan, the relations they had when they played for England. If you watch it seemed Keegan knew where Keegan was when he got the ball. You watch him play at West Ham, you go back and watch the old games, the ball would come across him. He wouldn't even have to touch a ball, but two fenders would go the opposite way.
Everyone says that,
That's a skill in itself, isn't it? It's you can't coach that. I don't care who you are. You wouldn't be able to tell a kid, right, watch this and do that. Ain't gonna happen because the first thing they want to kick it, wouldn't they? So there you go. So Trevor, got to be there.
So Trevor, and again, you've got these guys. You got obviously Moro and Billy and Lamps, and to some extent Dixie, and obviously Sir Trevor. They were, I was watching a lot of old football, and Sir Trevor was so skillful and so silky on basically sand, a bog of a pitch, and it's like, could you imagine like him at the London State on the bowling green, and vice versa? I'd like to see Messi and Ronaldo have a go on that pitch where we beat that Stamford Bridge pitch where we beat 8-4-0. You know what I mean? I'd love to see him if he could do that, but no, he's an incredible man, Trevor Brooking. So Trevor and still is, lovely guy and a genuine, West Ham great. And you're smashing them out today. They're all coming out today, Barry. Right, who's next in midfield, there, my man?
I've picked about 18 players for midfield, Russ. I'm thinking, right, who can I mean? Graham Paddon. I don't know if you know Graham Paddon, but before your time, what a footballer. What a footballer. I mean, I'll go back to the back four. Kevin Locke, the new Bobby Moore. Something went wrong there. He was a class act, Kevin Locke, for the little time he played. And I actually think he's a cult rusher now, one of the cults there, but he uses information either at Colchester or Chelmsford. Then I look at Mad Dog, Moncur, Bishop. Neil Orr, another one that was very underrated, Neil Orr. So what, have you heard of Neil Orr, the 85?
I mean, I'm getting proper clued up on this now, Barry. Don't worry, man.
Georgie Paris.
They
all come in and done a job. Neil Orr, no one heard of him. We got him from Scotland somewhere. I don't know where he come from, but he was a trier. And you like tries in life, but I can't fit them all in, Russ.
No.
I've tried. Well, shall I put them up on the transfer list? No, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Joey Cole, I've got no place for Joey Cole. But the boy was different grade. Carrick.
And
as much as people don't like him, Ince, Lampard Jr. You can't knock their ability, and you can't knock their ability. And if we would have kept that team together after the 85, when this not were coming through, I think we'd have been well beaters. Honestly believe it, but it's all if buts and maybes, isn't it? So
it is with us, and that's what I love about West Ham. The fact is all if buts and buts. I mean, when we had H on, we were talking about that golden era, when he had at his disposal, he had like Rio, he had Joe, he had, he had these like Michael Carrick, he had Frank Jr., and he was like, Russ, I tell you what, if we'd kept them, I'd have won the league with them lot.
Yeah.
Of course you bloody would. You've got
But
a quarter of the England squad there. It's like, of course you would, H. It's the easy.
I was looking at doing a loopy 11, Russ. Doing a loopy 11, right? Bernard Lamar in goal. He was on his joints when he'll have a joint. Old Bernard. Yep. Thomas Repka.
Yeah.
Yave Margas.
Oh, brilliant.
I could go on. But Repka, to me, he was everything that I was when I played. Yeah. That's how I played as a fullback. You go on there and you kick shit out of people.
Yeah.
And come off, but it's forgotten about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got banned in the FA. I wasn't allowed to play again after I was 30. Not saying it's anything to be proud of, but you want to look at Repka, I just think people say, hey, he was crap and all that. He might have been, but he tried. He's a trier.
He tried, and he loved the club.
Yes.
He loved the club. I'm trying to get him on, but his English isn't very good. But
but he's still inside, isn't he?
No, he's out. He's out.
I'll get you a visiting order.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, have a word. But yeah, he's out, and so. But even when he texts me, I'm still scared. Do you know what I mean? He's like, even when he does like the crossed hammers, I'm always thinking he's like branding them into me, But Repka and Margas was brilliant. Boogers, you could have.
Good, yeah.
Well, you know what? Here's a great story. Marco Boogers, right? When he signed, Harry, in his wisdom, put him. Okay, right. Have a guess. Who was Marco Boogers' roommate?
It's got to be someone. Got to be someone as nutty as him. So it's either Monker or Martin Allen. Would he have been there then?
Yes.
No?
Mad Dog. Oh. He was Mad Dog's roommate. There we go.
Jesus Christ!
Martin was like, I didn't have a fucking clue who this bloke was. I really didn't. He was crazier than me. He just literally sat in all day. And Margas, brilliant. Jumps out of a second floor window to leave the. I don't know why he didn't walk out the door. Do you know what I mean? He jumped out the window.
Yeah. But then he come back and dyed his hair, Russell, didn't he?
Loved it.
Did he come back with a claret hair, didn't he?
Yeah. Brilliant. So. Yeah. Anyway,
we've had some crap there, though.
Who's your next midfielder?
Right. I'll go the other side. Yeah, I'll go with Alan Devonshire.
Nice.
Alan Dev on the other side.
Yeah.
So it could have been one of many, mate, but Devonshire was another one. What a set of tracksuit tops for him. Well, that's basically what he cost us, wasn't it? From Solihull or Southall, wasn't it?
Southall, yeah.
And what that boy could have been. He was lucky enough he got a few caps. A bad injury, he come back, and very lucky to play again, But he came back. Was he ever the same player? Yeah, probably not. But could still mesmerise defenders. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, unlike a lot of other players, think of the modern day equivalent, I think someone like Michael Owen. So obviously Michael Owen was like a speedster, wasn't he? As soon as his hamstrings went, that was it. He was not the same player, where obviously Dev had to reinvent himself into this sort of, rather than a speed, more of a silky player, and prolonged his career because of that.
You think though, Russ? You think a puff of wind would have blown him over, wouldn't you? Because there's nothing of him.
Yeah, no.
If it was windy on a windy game, you'd have to put some weights in his pocket, roll him down.
Yeah. But we've had lots of them though. We've had like him, and there was like Matty Etherington, bless him.
Brilliant, Matty.
Yossi looked like a bag of bones.
Yeah.
So it's like.
He looked like one of them square meal, didn't he, before he come on the pitch? Bless him.
Yeah, he did, old Matty. I loved him. He loved nice boy. But Dev was a special player, very, very special player from what I've seen. And obviously, what we've heard, we've had him on. We've had
I've seen them all, Russ.
Cotty and Mac are on as well. So and it's funny, they both said exactly the same spiel that Dev gave them in terms of, I'm going to have 3 men on me, I'm going to tuck it around, and you're going to be there. And they both said exactly the same thing. It was really funny. It must have been his patter to get the forwards and where to go for his job. But no, I loved him. Loved Dev. He was a lovely bloke. Yeah. Not very good at the old technical side. I had about a 20-minute conversation with his wife trying to figure out his Zoom call. But apart from that...
Well, you're lucky I could do this, you know what I mean? It was lucky I went on my laptop and I tried it, yeah.
First step, Barry. That's what I mean. It's the modern world we live in now. We can't talk to people face to face. Not until June the 20th. Right, okay. So we'll put Devin. It's got Brook in, Dev. Who's next in the midfield, man?
Paolo Di Canio.
PDC. PDC. Yeah.
Another one of my gods. He was.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit what they said about him. Couldn't play away from home. Couldn't do this. But the man was a genius. As far as I'm in my eyes, you can watch the goals. You can watch the Wimbledon goal. Yes, it was a brilliant goal, but you watch his other goals that he scored, the ones at Chelsea, where he's flicked it up, in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a mad Italian, we know that, but what a lovely Italian, mad Italian to have in your club.
Yeah.
In fact, the geezer who reminded me, who come after him, was Diamante.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think he could have been, long term, I actually think he'd have gone down the same route as Di Canio.
Yeah.
There was something about him. But Di Canio is like, it's.
I think with Di Canio was like more of Di Canio was a polished version of Diamante. You know what I mean? He was just raw, wasn't he? The hair, and he was just like he had the wrist thing, and whereas Di Canio, he was just box office, weren't he? Total box office as well.
You pay your entrance money like go and see someone like him. I would anyway. And that's what I say to you before, like you support who you want to support, whatever team. But when you look at good players of other team, you think, do you know what, I could go and watch him every week.
Yeah.
Because the matter who he plays for, I don't, as I said to you before, I'll go and watch two teams play. 9 times out of 10 we'll end up losing. But if they play well and you've got to stand there, and often when it was a Bobby Moore stand where I'd be seated for years, if a geezer scored a good goal at the other team, I'd stand there and clap. Because I don't sit indoors and go, that was all right, wasn't it? Oh, what a goal. Automatically, if you're watching matches, well, not matching days so much, because we're always last anyway. So there's no difference to that. But any game you watch and someone scores, why shouldn't you? You're there to watch your own team, but you're there to watch a game of football, aren't you?
Yeah, you're there to be entertained, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. And Di Canio was just, to my eyes, just sheer entertainment. Entertainment.
That's what I mean. I mean, that was probably the last era, I would say, where football was fun.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was fun. Yeah. It's a bit fun now because we're winning. Yes. And we've got a few characters in the team, but until recently, football's quite boring. I think now it's quite uber professional, and there's no real there's no real Di Canios. We reeled them off. No Neil Ruddocks, no Julian Dixies. There's no John Moncurs, no Ian Bishops. People. I mean, to be honest, these guys wouldn't get any game time with VAR now. You know what I mean? Thomas Repka would not play a single minute at Upton Park or London Stadium.
2 days later, you'd still be waiting for the final whistle, wouldn't you? There'd be so many VARs, wouldn't they? Because they never really dispute it. I mean, you go to Sunday. Lingard scored. We had 2 celebrations.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I felt such an idiot because I played the goal celebration music, and then it was offside. Okay, so I put it down, and then it was like, then they gave it, and it just felt silly me playing it again because it just seemed like, but they were all dancing. They had little moves set up, and I was like, oh fuck it, too late now. But I love it. Yeah, it's a bit weird that stuff, but it is. I mean, VAR would have been this lot when that won't play any games at all. But anyway, Di Canio loved him.
Paolo can't. I could go on 2 days about him, but I won't. I'll bore you to tears. So, I've got to go work tomorrow, Russ. So I have to cut that one short. If I don't turn up, things won't happen. They're waiting
to come out, and you're still there. Anyway, let me tell you about the Chelsea goal. No, he's top man, top draw. And actually, we had when we interviewed, was it Ian Foyer? He was saying that he was completely responsible for that Di Canio goal.
I see it, mate,
I love it.
Responsible because I was there, so I must have had a part in it. You know what I mean?
I was there as well, and so was Freddie. It was Freddie Canute's debut, wasn't it, as well? Poor Freddie.
Yeah, so he had a part in it because tell you what, so there's 30-odd thousand people had a part in that goal, didn't they?
I know. Yeah. It's funny, there's a few people I spoke to about that goal, and they go, oh, yeah. It was one of them, I think it was a guy called Benji Lanyardo, and we interviewed him, and it turned out that his dad had his back to the goal when it happened.
Really?
His dad was like talking to someone and totally missed the goal. I love it.
Now,
so
You'd go on right seat, wouldn't you?
You'd be on the right because
Yeah.
the screens weren't particularly great then. You didn't have the
No.
big screens really as much. Although you used to have a clown, didn't you? I remember we used to have a clown. We popped a clown up when someone had missed a real shot, and then it wouldn't happen now. It'd be done for like bullying and
Yeah,
stuff.
you'd be up in front of the FA for that.
Yeah. Well, we used to have do you remember Super Sponge? We used
Yes.
to have Super Sponge, and they stopped doing that when Kasaragi broke his leg.
That's it.
I think Rio did the challenge and he broke his leg, and then we had like little Super Sponge coming up. Welcome to Upton Park.
Yeah.
Luigi, yeah. Anyway, okay, so we got who's next? We got Brooklyn Decano,
Right.
Devonshire.
I'm going to go 3 up front.
Go for it.
I'm actually going to go for Trevor Morley.
Oh,
Because I actually think what's a very underrated forward. Because we had who we had there at the time, big Johnny Hartson, who was another fantastic centre, typical old-fashioned centre forward. And they, you had Kitson. Kitson was very underrated, I think.
Yes.
And we've had some shite, but we've had some good shite.
Yeah.
You think back, Lee Chapman, yeah, all right. I know people have said about him, but I wouldn't give it 2 bob for him. I can go back, John Radford, Derek Howes.
John Radford, yeah.
Never scored a goal for us, you know what I mean? That's how good he was. Sandy Clark.
I've never heard of Sandy Clark, so that's new to me.
Have a look. He was crap and all. Who else do we have? Who's the other geezer played up front? That's Sandy Clark. Then we had someone after him. Mike Small.
Oh, Mike Small.
He was more like Millie Small, my boy Lollipop. He had one good season. He was going to be playing for England. I don't even know what happened to him. I don't know where he went. I don't know what happened to him. But he scored a lot of goals for us. You ever look back?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had some right dross over there. But I think Mr. Morley, I'd have him in my team. He's a worker. Yeah. And I think he was an unselfish player as well. Yeah. If you watch him, he scored a lot, but he set up a lot.
Definitely.
So, you think Morley, really? You do think, you question yourself, I've left out so-and-so, but yeah, and they were great. But that's the obvious greats people are going to pick, in my eyes. Yeah, the other two are probably obvious, but yeah. but
I think with Trev, he was one of those. I mean, again, we've been very lucky. We had him on as well. It's mental when with people we've had on, and do you know what? He was just. I loved him. Honestly, he was the nicest bloke I've ever had. He was such an absolute gentleman in terms of being interviewed. And again, when I was sort of like a little bit anxious to talk to, because obviously, with everything that went down and stuff like that. And to his credit, he went, Rush, you can talk to me what you want. You can talk to me about being stabbed. You can talk to me about me being in bed with Bish. And I was like, okay, I was going to talk about any of that, but I was like, so we didn't, because I didn't think it would take the piss out of him. But honestly, lovely bloke, lovely guy. Yeah. Lovely guy. So, and he was like, next time, because he's still got a house near where I used to live. And he was, oh yeah, we'll have to meet up for a beer. I was like, oh my God,
really?
a beer with Trevor Morley. Bloody hell.
How much is that though, Russ, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean, they all are. It's like even Stag, bless old Stag, he phoned me the next day. He's like, are you in Thorpe Bay? I said, what do you mean? Because I said I was going to pop in to get some cakes or something for my wife. Yeah. And I've finished the paper round now, so we can go in. I was like, oh, bless you. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, man. My wife's got. Oh, okay. Well, next time you're in Lee, let me know, and we'll go for some more cockles.
I've seen him a few times walking through Stratford, because I get up and come up from Chelmsford on the train, and I've seen him been in front of me, and I think, yeah, he's him. And you don't want to say hello. You probably. He seems genuinely probably say hello back, but you don't want to pester someone. No, and but then you feel like a bit when I'm getting, you're like 50 odd saying, oh, hello. You've grown up, you know what I mean? But he came across, I thought, excellent. And, I speak as I find with people, the persona, what he was saying to you, and the same with Trevor Morley, I thought was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah, lovely people. Right, so we'll put old Morley in, and it was funny because I got his number through. I got Bish to try and phone him, but I don't think Bish phoned him, and then someone else phoned him, and then someone just gave me his number. Like he shouldn't have. He should have asked permission. Yeah. But so I phoned him up, and I let him know we did like a night, like an appreciation night for him. And the next day, I texted him. It didn't no response. Next day, he texted me, went, "Oh, I'll take 7.5." And I'm like, what? And I forgot we gave him like scores, and he got 7.5. And so he was like, so he'd actually watched it, and I told the others, and they were like, "Oh shit, we go through it, make sure we weren't slagging him off or anything." But no, he's great. I love him, absolutely love him. Right, we'll put Morley in. Okay, so then who's next then?
Down on the other side, McAvenny.
Frank
McAvenny. Even his second spell, I know he come back. He wasn't the same player, but you know, the first time round, he was an unknown. Him and Cotty, what a pair! What a pair! I mean, it's probably one. I would say it's got to be one of the best pairings that I've seen. And I actually think for the little time they were together, Artson and Kitson were another good pair. Yeah. But Frankie Mac, he was the unknown, wasn't he? He was a blonde boy, gorgeous boy, come down. Oh, what he got to his personal life probably stays very personal, but we all know.
We know about it, yeah.
But he didn't perform on the pitch. He probably performed off the pitch, but you can't knock him. You know, I think his finishing was second to none. He wasn't a greedy player. If you watch back a lot of the old games, I can still remember games when he scored, but the amount of goals he actually set up for Cotty, I don't think he was a greedy player. And if he'd been a greedy player, I actually think it'd have been 20 to 25 easy, 25 every time he played. But he wasn't a greedy player. Yeah. So
it's true. And he, I mean, they used to him and TC used to bet who would score the most spectacular goal. They said on a game, not who would score, but who would score the most. That's how confident they were at that time. And he's a top bloke. He's a top guy. And it's another guy, because it's like, obviously, I 9 months ago I didn't know any of these people, and now like it's weird. And I didn't realize how much fucking golf they played. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was a joke. Golf footballers. But he literally, when we was trying to organise his interview, every time I was calling him, he was either on the golf course, off the golf course, going there, driving. Honestly, it's brilliant. And then like he said, Johnny Arts and him, they can't play golf at the moment, but they play a lot together. But they all play fucking golf. It's like, no wonder you've got, it's all right for some.
Russ, I can't see the point of hitting a ball and you've got to walk after it. What's the point? And then hit it again and walk even further. Nah, it's not all that, mate.
I don't like it. I ain't got time for that. Right. All right, so we're going to have McAvenny.
I'm going to go... Go on then. Who do you reckon?
David D. McKaylee. Am I right?
Nah. Close.
Ilian. Damn. You do. That's it gone.
Oh, sorry. Savio,
yeah. Jonathan Caleri.
No, I've got with Dean Ashton.
Dino. Good old
Dino. Another thing, I just think that man could have gone on to such a lot. With us or without us. Yeah. And I think he's probably the last of the dying breed of that centre forward.
Totally.
You're probably, because they're not built like that no more. They're not meant to be built like that. They've now got to be athletes. Like they've got to be like racehorses, if you like. It's all technical. Where if you watch, I'm even in that testimonial.
Yeah.
At his age, doing the things like that. Oh, that is a testimonial.
Yeah.
But I've read kick. I mean, the geezer. I mean, you could go back to when we played Blackburn and what's his name scored on his debut, Freddie Sears.
Yeah.
His all-round play, his hold-up was, I just think, second to none. And I think he would have got on to be an international for many, many years.
Of course, yeah. He would have been that partner to Rooney that Rooney never had. It may not have been at our club for much long, maybe because of that. But I think and you're totally right. He's the last, because the sort of the whole role of a forward has changed now. So people like Dean Ashton aren't around anymore. People like Tony Cotty aren't around anymore. No. They're sort of like forward. They're not a striker. Yeah. They drop off. They're a playmaker. They're not like a fox in the box like he or Defoe or even Hernandez, sort of those out and out goal scorers. But I mean, Dino is the player that Harry Kane wishes he was.
Oh. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Shots fired, but that's true.
Yeah,
True.
I'll make it right, and I do make it right that one because, yeah, Keane, he's good, Keane, but is he really that good? I mean, we didn't win Saturday, or sorry, Sunday against Tottenham. Tottenham lost.
Yes.
Listen to the commentaries. Listen to Sky and how biased they are. It's not, okay, we weren't at our best, but if we weren't at our best and we still beat Tottenham, how bad would they must be? Yes, they had their chances. Yes, we got lucky when the bloke hit the post, old Son, or whatever his name is, and all right, and Bow hit the crossbar. But apart from that, what did they actually do?
No.
To Fabianski. And when you get an idiot like Mourinho come on there and it just think, really? Are these commentators watching the same game as what I watch? Because I just can't put up with it. I mean, I can't say it on here, but I watch different channels for our games. And the different commentaries you get is, yes, you could say it's biased because you get a few old players on there co-commentating. And you go back to Sky, you listen to Sky, and you just think, really? Because it's not about us winning; it's about the other team didn't turn up.
Yeah,
it's
got to change soon, isn't it? I mean, you think it would, just because like it started off as they're being a bit plucky, West Ham, and now it's like as every game goes past and we're still like up there, people are going, okay, they're still there. Shit. And I just think it's one of those things where I totally agree with you. And it's just like I just don't get it. But it's always been that, as you said, with like people like with like Bonzo and with Dixie and Mark Noble. We've always had this sort of. We've had to do extra. You have to be like Declan Rice and arguably the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. Possibly one of the best in the world at the moment in terms of him, the way he's playing, to get into the England squad. It's not like he has to be an average player. He has to be even more so. He's not, and that means so much more to get him in the squad. He's got to try so much. It's like Antonio. Why when Antonio scored he was top goal scorer since restart last season? Why isn't he put in the squad as a plan B? You start with Harry Kane and great, but then you want someone to come on and just bully a centre back for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. But what's Kane? Where does he play? Midfield. He's dropping that far back there because now is he too injury prone? I don't know. We don't know the ins and outs of it. But I mean, I'll say you go back with Antonio, Declan Rice. I watch him, and if you watch him closely, I do watch him closely, and I think the similarities are there between you and Bobby Moore.
Yeah, I agree.
If you used to drop back in that back four, and play not as the main centre half, but as like the old-fashioned sweeper, I think he can very much read a game. But the partnership he's got with Souček and the other mad bloke on his mate, Corfu, whatever his name is, type Teflon or whatever. I mean, for £5 million, I mean, hats off. Yeah. I'm not going to get into politics of the club, but whoever found it for $5 million, it must be the best $5 million they've ever spent so far.
Yeah. And I mean that's a little bit. And what I mean, particularly Souček. It was a little bit like the old days. We talk about Bonzo. Obviously on Sunday when he gets his head split open, the first thing he wants to do is block the shots. Rather than sort of roll on the floor like a Grealish or a Salah would do. They made the strong stuff, them Czech boys.
Yes, but the one that tickled me, Russ, was when Corfu went down to the area and he run. If you watch him run, it's not like he's going to belt the living daylights out and stay him down. He got all his mate like, what's the matter with you? But
I know.
But yes, so I'm going to go. That's my team, Russ.
Yeah, that's your team. No, it's very good, man. We've got. Let me bring it up as we go. There we go. Let's bring this up. It's all. There we go. That's the team, my man.
Oh, I might come out of retirement, Russ.
Go back into management.
Yeah. I'll be sacked within a week.
The FA will say, didn't we ban you for the age of 30?
They'd see me sub bench say, nah, you can't have that, I'm sorry. You can't have that. You can't have that. No, you can't have that sub bench, sorry. That's too fierce.
That's too fierce, you got Repka. Repka Boogers. Martin Allen and John Moncur.
They'd be sitting there with muzzles on, wouldn't they? Release the hounds.
Yeah, they'd be so. It'd be there. It would just be like, oh god, it'd be, they have to change their song. It'd be coming up to "I'm from Brain Bubbles." It'd be coming up to "It's a Mad World" or something like that.
Dear.
Oh, brilliant, nice one, man. Barry, man, it's been lovely chatting to you, bud.
Russell, thank you for that. Russ, I've watched most of what you put up here, and I salute you, sir, for what you. I think it's very, very entertaining.
Good.
And that's off to you. See, he's just sitting there, and so I can reminisce with the old players, and I've seen some of the youth players on there, the stories they tell. Unfortunately, never made it, but that's life.
Yeah, we've got some more of them coming up as well. We've got some more of them coming up. So that's good.
I mean, but you could see. I'm sorry, I won't keep you too long. I played against Johnny Harris. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I know Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah, and I played against him one game in the London Cup. And if you can't tell for people who had professional coaching, it's unbelievable. And when there was a striker, Mark, Sigavi or X, I think he began with. He was the same youth team as Cotty, and he was a striker. But they played him out on the wing to allocate Cotty, and I ended up playing with I think with Barney, a few different teams. And I played against him on a Sunday morning league. Oh, yeah. We played in the fog. We couldn't even see the goals, but he knew where the ball was coming out of the air. But that's off to you, Russ. I mean, it's
thank you, man.
And may it go from strength to strength.
Thank you very much. I'll just say goodbye to everyone. Thank you everyone for watching. Barry can say how great I am, but I just like to make sure people are finished now. Anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get your jabs. Cover new irons, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Much love. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Russ.